You were not allowed to grow by their winds. You were not allowed to grow by their words. You were not allowed to grow by anyone else but God. You see, just like a person may put into a greenhouse a young plant to protect it and to shield it, to enable it to grow in a place of security, in a place that predators can't come and pick from it, the wind cannot sway it. And yet, the greenhouse is a place of isolation. It's a place of unimportance. It's a place of being to the sidelines. I was driving in the car and considering to myself, you know, God, I don't have a great voice. I don't have an outstanding vocal range. And what I heard him say to me was, I was not allowed to grow in the wind. Because when you're someone like me, you may have a tendency to people please, or I certainly have in my life. And what I am saying is that the wind of words, the wind of opinions, the wind that sways the plant when it's young. You see, God was not willing for you to be in a place and be impressionable. He was not willing for you to be outside in the wind of their words, in the wind of their feelings, in the wind of whatever it is they want. You were not allowed to be growing in that wind, but He preserved you into a place where He could individually, intimately shape you, where it was only by His hand that you went to the left or to the right. You see, when you are unavailable, when access is denied, that's a isolating place. At least it certainly feels that way for me, or it has done. That's a hard place. You don't get to meet many plant friends when you're in a greenhouse. But oh my, how you're shaped by the gardener's hand. Maybe you feel this as well, that He did not allow you to be shaped by their winds. Not until you could actually stand and still hold your shape. So here we are in the greenhouse until He sees that we are firm enough to be placed outside, strong enough to uphold what He has taught in us. You can't go out into the wind until you have a very strong, firm foundation of what He is doing and has done in you. And He reminded me of David. And so I'm going to read 1 Samuel chapter 16 and down till verse 11. Then Samuel said to Jesse, "Are all your sons here?" And he said, "There remains yet the youngest, but behold, he is keeping the sheep." He is keeping the sheep. This one who was seen as insignificant, who was so far down the packing grade, he was so irrelevant to the top, so unconsidered for any placement. He was just another son, just another one. In fact, he was so overlooked that he was sent out to do the most basic of jobs. He wasn't going to be expected to take over the family. He wasn't expected to have any real jobs of significance in his community. He was just another son in that family, and so far down at that list. Inconsidered by all. No one considered David. Nowhere is he on the radar. And yet, David was with God. God was with David. And I dare to say that God shaped David, that he ministered to David. In chapter 16 and in the first verse it said, "The Lord said to Samuel, how long will you grieve over Saul, since I have rejected him from being king over Israel? Fill your horn with oil and go. I will send you to Jesse, the Bethlehemite. For I have provided for myself a king among his sons." God has provided for himself. That means that he made it. He provided it for himself, a heart that would chase after his own heart. God's hand was all in David, was all over David. And in the place of seclusion, in that place of an isolating greenhouse, where one is not really considered, tucked away into the corner, often to the sidelines of the garden, no one looks in the greenhouse, right? These are not the ones on display, right? And yet God had prepared for himself a king. God has prepared for himself a king. When it's time to bring you out of that greenhouse, God will bring you out. You will hear the words of the Lord and he will bring you out. When you are firmly established, when you are no longer impressionable, when you no longer sway over their words, when you no longer bend to their pleasing, that's when you're good to go. That's when you're good to get planted into some place. Right then, where God has cultivated you, where he has provided for himself a heart that longs after his inside of you. God bless you. Thank you if you've listened today. May you know that he loves you, that he is with you, that he is for you. And even in those places that seem lonely, that seem so very bittersweet, God is still working inside of you to establish something for himself. A king and a queen in your own right. God bless.